All right, already, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and Droids, we got a lot to talk about today. Hopefully all is well and you're a part of the galaxy. Hit that like button just so we can do a little bit of a roll call to make sure all is well across our beloved empire. We got a lot of stuff to talk about in regards to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The other day, we're going to leave a link down below in the video description. Heinz did a little bit of an interview with Crumb. And people wanted my reaction to it. They did talk about quite a lot of things. Vehicles, relic abilities, ship load of content houses, more ships coming soon. Allegedly, something big's coming soon. New marquees, the creator versus developer showdown. That's going to be happening in Grand Arena. And they addressed the gear crunch situation, which gave me a good little chuckle when I heard it. So if you're excited, buckle down. Get ready. What do you mean there's rebel interference coming? Don't I have a VPN? Are you in a part of a galaxy like this guy where Disney Plus is not available to watch the new season of The Mandalorian?
Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
Or are you worried about a rebel spy watching you as you browse the internet? Well, then I have an amazing solution for you with today's sponsor, NordVPN. One of the main benefits of using NordVPN is it allows you to access games, movies, or TV shows that simply aren't available in your country. With the help of over 5,200 servers in 60 different countries. It's so easy to use, even a Gungan can figure it out. Literally boot it up, click on Quick Connect, and in mere seconds, you have just securely buckled down your internet connectivity.
Oh, muy, I love you.
And NordVPN can be used on your PC, Mac, iOS, and even your Android devices. And if you're ready to take your Imperial security to a whole other level, use the links down below to get a 2-year plan plus 4 additional months with a huge discount. Support the people that support the channel, keep your internet privacy secure, and unleash your access to the globe's entertainment services. All right, how about we roll some gameplay of my galactic chores? Some really exciting, engaging gameplay. I bet CG is melting over all the metrics. They're like they're engaging with conquest, scam quest. They're putting so many hours in, so we're gonna show me grinding the Night Sister feed out over and over and over and over again. But while you watch this mind-dumbing gameplay behind us, let's talk about that interview with Heinzie. Definitely check it out. A lot of fun conversation after about that 20-minute mark in regards to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Let's talk about why you might have clicked on the video today. Vehicles and relic abilities. It's actually funny. I had to do a little blast in the past. I still remember like it was yesterday when the developers kind of first announced that they had plans for vehicles coming to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. That was about 2 years ago, 2019, in a podcast interview with the Galactic War Report. And also relic abilities on or about that year were also kind of brought up that, hey, relic abilities are coming sometime soon. With the introduction of relics in 2019, we were told relic abilities would be coming, and I thought at least relic abilities would for sure come because CG, they always complain about how new characters do much better financially than a rework character. So they usually prefer to release new characters because that's how they make more money at the end of the day with a game where they're trying to capitalize on the game like the studio name suggests. Well, it looks like vehicles, they kind of got canned, not going to happen anytime soon. Maybe it will happen down the road, but there are no plans for it anymore like it was a couple years ago. They made it sound like it was coming soon. Kind of off the table for the time being while they focus on some other babies. And with that, relic abilities also seem to have gotten canned as well. And I was actually quite surprised to hear that because I thought CG was going to try to find a way to monetize reworks, and that's what relic abilities were. Well, it's not happening, even with the introduction of Relic 9 coming probably the next month or so here that we're still waiting. I mean, take as much time as you need with that Relic 9. So no vehicles and no relic abilities coming anytime soon. And let's talk about that Gungan lingering around in the room, the gear crunch. They addressed it. Like the question came up. And it's like, hey, well, the gear crunch, it's kind of surreal right now. There's a lot going on. Any plans to fix it? And they're like, oh yeah, there's a gear crunch. I think they said they're aware there's a gear crunch. Wow. I had no idea in an artificial economy where they control both the supply and demand that they are aware of a gear crunch problem. Here's the thing. I gotta say this, I'm sure a lot of them are great and all over at CG. I know some of them personally. They love us. They love all well, not everyone there, but you know what I mean. But I could say this, whenever one day, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, when Galaxy Heroes hits the sunset, a lot of these guys would make fine politicians. And I've worked with a lot of politicians in my life. Very good at dancing around the subject when it comes to the gear crunch. They did say, at least, that they aren't satisfied with where it is right now. What's that? Degrees at 99% satisfied, 1% dissatisfied, 50% satisfied, 50% dissatisfied. Hard to say what that exact ratio is. But here's the thing. You don't need to beat around the bush. We know that this is a huge, maybe one of the biggest drives of pushing income into the game. Just don't treat us like 2-year-olds. Kind of acknowledging, saying, hey, we got to hit this delicate balance with the supply and demand because it's one of our biggest profit drivers. Nonetheless, though, putting that point aside there, they said they weren't satisfied with the situation, and they don't just want to open up the gear flow and let people have just tons and tons of gear. They want to do it in a more meaningful way, I suppose. I just want to put this out there. I see people get excited every time they touch on this topic of the gear crunch, but just understand, this has been something kicked down the road year after year after year. Oh yeah, we're looking into it. We're aware of it. And we haven't really seen meaningful action yet. So I don't want to get you guys excited because they were aware of the gear crunch problem, but they definitely at least acknowledge that, especially for new players coming to the game, we need to get them going a little bit faster towards that end game, because even getting to gear 12 is a pain. I am still really irked that in 2021 and a few months away, 2022, we are still facing gear crunches that existed in 2015, 2016, and we keep getting to run around about it. Let's see some action, not talk. I know sometimes people get excited just because they touch the gear crunch. People get a little touchy, a little excited. Let's actually see something happen. I've thrown out a lot of suggestions in the past. I want to focus more on what the interview is about rather than my thoughts on how to fix the gear crunch, because I'm sure you guys have plenty of ideas yourselves. Moving on, Galactic Legends. Now, there's this kind of idea that maybe we're going to be getting a Galactic Legend every quarter for a year, kind of like what we saw with Saturnal, Kylo, yada, 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 back in 2020. And this year, we got 2 GLs. No plans for GLs. The rest of the year, now that does not exclude maybe an announcement of a Galactic Legend later on this year, maybe leading into next year, but they said don't get comfy or don't think there's a set cadence. With 4 GLs, you're a Galactic Legend every quarter, every 2 quarters or something like that. There is no hard cadence that they're going to be adopting. And let's just say this, I'm a fan of that. We have 6 Galactic Legends in the game, and we're coming hot off of a 4 Relic 8 requirement Galactic Legend, which, by the way, the developers did kind of talk about Lord Vader a little bit. If you want to hear more about that, that's more towards the later part of this video. We need just ways for people to catch up to those Galactic Legends and give people time to sit on these Galactic Legends. Let them have their time in the arenas and the granaries. We don't need to keep updating the Galactic Legend meta every couple months. I'm a fan of this. Maybe you guys aren't. I definitely want to see some other characters come. I've already predicted that maybe we'll get like a Darksaber Mando down the road. I would love to see a Jabba the Hutt, a new Leia. The list goes on and on and on. Another Galactic Legends out there, but unplanned anytime soon. On the topic of Galactic Legends, it's very debatable, very controversial with this trend this year where you get a Galactic Legend, but you kind of need that conquest character to take him to the next level. The developer said this is not going to be a hard thing set in stone. It's not always going to be like that where a Galactic Legend comes out and you kind of need the conquest character to take him to the next level. Now, I do want to say this before we get to that Lord Vader conversation. Master Kenobi was amazing before Commander Ahsoka Tano came to the game, and it definitely is a lot more evident Lord Vader needs it. It's funny how people forgot how amazing Master Kenobi was when he first came out, but nonetheless, I am not a fan of this whole conquest thing. The only thing I could say, here's my prediction. This whole conquest thing needed for a Galactic Legend. I have a feeling people see Lord Vader, for example, and they're like, he's not that great without Maul. There's no need for me to rush. Get this Galactic Legend, especially when it's going to take me 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get Maul up and running. I have a feeling they might be moving away from him, not just because it's more player friendly. I have a feeling it might cut into profits because after the time and effort and money you pour into a Galactic Legend and they're not at full power, why rush when you already have to wait several months for Maul? So I'm a fan of that just on multiple fronts in that regard. And speaking of Galactic Legends, what about the other type of stuff in there? A couple days ago on stream, I had a revolutionary thought of how long it's been since we had our last normal legendary. I'm talking 5-star unlocked legendaries. Listen to me, Johnny, Becca, whatever your name might be, comment down below. When was the last time we had a normal legendary? Something free to play accessible. I'll give you a moment. That's enough time. The answer was 2019. Padme Amidala. Spring of 2019 was the last time we just had a normal legendary. I know we have Beskar Trashadorian last year in 2020, but that's a journey event. 7-star requirement. I'm just talking old-fashioned legendaries like the Dawn of Galaxies with Grandmaster Yoda and Emperor Palpatine. Good news is, well, again, they addressed it. They're aware that, there's other stuff out there. Legendaries and epic confrontations are not off the table. It's just crazy to think that we've really only had a journey events as well as Galactic Legends since 2019. Absolutely bonkers. Legendaries epic confrontations still on the table. Might happen sometime in the near future. And speaking of that, marquees are coming. They did announce that there's plenty of marquees coming, most likely, these next couple months before we hit 2022. And we've already kind of speculated about this, but I have a feeling if you wanted my initial take, I have a feeling we're probably going to start dipping into that Mandalorian. So it just makes more sense in regards to what's going out there in the Star Wars universe. And usually CG, they release stuff for a previous season of a TV show a year after. So for example, we got season 1 of Mando stuff about 6 months to a year after season 1. We didn't really get much of season 2 except the Dark Trooper, of course. So I have a feeling if we are getting marquee soon, it's almost a year. October 30th, I believe, 2021 is when season 2 came out. We're about to hit that year mark. There's a lot of stuff. Dad Bod, Boba Fett, Fennec Shan, maybe Mayfield. So a lot of stuff that could be happening sometime around the corner for marquees, if that's something that gets your jollies going. Because really this year we just had Bad Batch and a couple of those earlier Mando stuff, Moff Gideon, Dark Trooper, the armor, and Bo-Katan as well. And speaking of more stuff coming, we're still waiting on this shipload of content. That's S-H-I-P as in Peter for the YouTube reviewer with the 500 face tattoos and piercing, because you guys always take what I say out of context. It's not funny. They were still waiting at the executor, obviously the Big Daddy that came into the game, and it was such a weird ship, so powerful. And the only way to beat is kind of RNG coin toss, which really throws a lot of RNG randomness in terms of grander. And will they get lucky and get the one shot? Will you not get lucky? Vice versa. Kind of weird right now, but nonetheless, they said they still have not achieved their shipload of content, and there's a lot of ships coming to the game at some point. I'm hoping that they kind of, if they're going to do a bunch of ships, man, I don't know. Why do I even say this? We're way past this. They already said way back when they're not going to add anything else to the Galactic War Store Squadron. I missed the days when ships first came out. There was a ton of ships to farm in a variety of areas. You had your pay-to-play, free-to-play ships. A lot more ships coming to try to fill out the rest of these factions, but if I had to predict, probably going to be marquees, galactic chases, as we've kind of seen in recent years, to fill out these fleets. They don't really have a full lineup. For example, Separatists, Resistance is one that comes to my mind. Hulta Gertrude, one of our freaking Kyber Club viewers, has been asking for a Resistance bomber for who knows how long, and I don't have the answers for them, and that drives me absolutely mad. So filling out the rest of these fleets, and maybe the Executor won't seem as scary as we develop these other fleets and new ships, maybe adding a new unit to the Separatist lineup to make it less RNG to take out the Executor. Time will tell where that is going to go. And let's talk about some other mishmash stuff. Conquest, oh man. Conquest went from one of the greatest things that happened in Star Wars Galaxies in recent years, and all of a sudden it just turned into this abandoned thing. The abandoned love for Conquest. I would say most are not like it. I know some people still like it. Some people just like chores sometimes. They see this, they like going into the battle same time over and over and over and over and over. Should I do it 14 times over and over again? Fine, more power to you. Everyone's got different preferences with the Hero Collector toilet game like we have right here. They're aware that it seems like the morale's a bit low. They didn't say anything, but every 3 conquests or so, they mix up the formula. New data discs, new bosses, new rewards and stuff like that. So it's really gonna tell, do they like where Conquest is by the time Conquest 10 comes around? So not this Conquest, not the next one, but I believe the next one after that's Conquest number 10. If they don't do changes, they're happy where it is. And my tinfoil hat theory is they up the ante on the feats and the crystals needed and whatnot and the difficulty, the over prepared for. Oh yeah, we're not going to make it more difficult. Here's the over prepared for. I have a feeling they did it because the game mode was just not making money, and they do not make game modes for free at the end of the day. We'll have to wait and see. Conquest 10, that's really where we're gonna have to wait. But man, I can tell you this, my motivation to play Conquest is almost near zero. Lord Vader! All right, you guys know me. I'm very lukewarm about Lord Vader. I like him in raids. He's really cool in the raids of Darth Vader lead, the OG Darth Vader lead. That's kind of his biggest highlight. He seems a lot of fun in the raids. But when it comes to PvP stuff, I just don't know. Again, people's claim that Master Kenobi before Cat was horrible. You're dead wrong. You're dead wrong, son. Come on, oh boy. Master Kenobi, I'm just remembering the good old days. He was great out the door, soloing teams left and right, and was so dang good. It helps he has a very good faction to work along with him. Lord Vader seems uninspiring, boring. Developers they said they were aware of the initial negativity that was coming around Lord Vader, and it seems like right now they're happy with him, mainly because Maul formerly Darth, is coming around the corner, and that's going to bring him to his true power. So if you're hoping Lord Vader is going to get touched up or reworked, made it a bit more interesting, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much, but I will say this. Yes, he's fine with the ultimate. Not nearly as exciting as the other Galactic Legends. Boring, uninspiring, ultimates, bleh. And I just felt like even from an animation standpoint, they could have put more work in. So it just doesn't feel like Lord Vader at the end of the day. I'm sure Maul's going to bring him to the next level, but it seems like he's going to be kind of kept to the way he is right now, which I think is slightly unfortunate. Ranger on the stream, he was actually a big proponent of where Lord Vader is right now. I disagree with him respectfully, but nonetheless, I'm sure Maul will bring him to that next level. And just remember, Kenobi does not need Cat to do amazing things. Cat was literally the cherry on top to just delete someone right away. Just want to put that out there. I don't think Lord Vader and Kenobi are equals in that regard. Moving on, Tuskens, random point of conversation here for all of our Tusken lovers out there. I know people have been urging me, or this here, can you just try to poke the beast? Because sometimes if you poke me just right, I'll go on a gearing spree to gear up something stupid, something meme worthy, and sometimes they will go from meme to dreams like Embo and I'm a gun die. Tuskens, they said they have no intention to rework Tusken soon, anytime soon for that matter, because they are only going to rework characters, factions, if they're needed for something, if there's a purpose to them, leading up to a legendary, or maybe great for a certain game mode out there. So it's not just adding a new character and completing the faction, calling it a day. They want to do more. Tuskens, unfortunately, have no plans anytime. So I think it's a big missed opportunity, especially last year when we had the little few scenes with the Tuskens going up against the Great Dragon. I thought that was really cool. Would have been great to see some sort of Mando type of raid. But it really, again, from an earlier conversation this year, there are no raids planned anytime soon. Who knows, maybe forever, which really would baffle me if that's really the case. And then lastly on the list, are actually two more things on the list. Creatorverse Developer Grand Arena. Always such an awkward conversation that comes out. Yes, if you guys, I told you guys this when Creator Developer Grand Arena first came to fruition, or at least the ideation a couple months ago, back in July at the road ahead. I told you guys, don't get yourselves excited about me being invited. And I was not invited. That's fine. At the end of the day, I'm here doing my own thing. I'm here having fun. I'm not going to be tameable. I'm not going to bend to be in their favor a little bit. I'm pretty sure the executives are trying to squeeze that on me. It's not going to happen, baby. But nonetheless, it's cool to see. And one thing I'm looking forward to the most about this Creatorverse developer thing is this time and effort they're putting to make this possible. I'm hoping they take that, I don't want to say money, but the labor they're dumping into it and add it to the game somehow. A way to do private matchmaking for Grand Arena. Finally being able to play against your friends. And just so you guys know, this isn't some sort of revolutionary idea. There's a game 2 steps to the left that uses a name called Marvel Strike Force. And they already have a way to privately fight your friend, not in a Grand Arena format, but just be able to battle your friend directly. CG, let's get that going. That would be an amazing highlight, and that's what I'm hoping for. They're putting all this effort to make this happen. Apparently, how it's going to work, it's not going to be a live stream. They're going to record this behind the scenes and basically make a promotional reel out of it. And I'm sure all the content creators, Cubs so far has been invited, Ranger, as well as Operation Metaverse are going to be a part of the whole entire Creatorverse's Developer Grand Arena. So it's going to be a private thing that they'll eventually make edited videos about. At least I believe CG will edit the videos for them to release. So not gonna be a big live stream event like I was hoping, but at the end of the day, regardless if I'm invited or not, I'm just hoping this turns into a game mode that people everywhere can enjoy. And they'll say, this is pretty successful. We already put the work into it. Let's add it to the game. Fingers crossed. That's gonna be the plan right there. I will say this. I kind of, how much you wanna bet, Gary? Anytime they go on these interviews, they have this private meeting saying, you could ask anything, but you cannot mention the A word at all, or else I gotta leave. I'm gonna say, I got a meeting to get to. I have a weird feeling. There's a big sign when you walk into CG to not acknowledge you, pretend I don't exist, and don't you dare answer a single question about him anywhere else. I just thought that was kind of funny, because it's a big question, and no one really wants to touch the big subject in public. Lastly, something big is coming! Give him a round of applause! All right, now stop. How many times have we heard that one? They know that morale's kind of low right now, and they just say, hey, hang in there. There's something big coming. Take it as you will. I remember hearing that last year when things were kind of down, and what do we get? We got Galactic Challenges. That wasn't really that big in my opinion. Conquest was great when it first came out, but still, it was about 6, 8, 9 months of saying, hey, something great's coming. Here it is, and it wasn't really all that great. Here's my rule. You guys always know, never expect anything, but when something happens, be excited. So I'm not going to hold any hope out. I'm sure we're going to get through this rut. There's always an ebb and flow when it comes to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes at the end of the day. So let's hope there is going to be some excitement later on into the future. And it's not just marquees I'm looking forward to. I want to see that private Grand Arena matchmaking thing happen. I want to see an actual new game of fixing up our conquest. And let's see what they have planned in the books for us. So that's going to wrap it up for today, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed our Sisters of the Night galactic chores that we had to do for Scam Quest here. That's going to wrap it up. Leave a like, comment down below, and all your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Send them on out!